bullshit. Hi everyone. Whoa. Hi everyone. It is me, Uranus, Sailor Skyworld Amara here. And today we're going to talk, and today we're showing you the backyard. And today we're going to talk about, today I want to show you the backyard here. And as we're filming the backyard, we're going to talk about, so as you can see in the film, this is our backyard. But that's not the grounds of this film. Anyway, so as you can know, in Sailor Moon, we are Unstright. Now, a lot of folks are going to say that Sailor Moon was the first drawing show or drawing film to have unstraight selves in it. But the truth is, I don't know if that was true or not. Now, a lot of folks over the years have always scathed Deke and later on Cloverway for the handling of unstraight folks. First you had Zoisite and Millikite, or Zoisite and Kunfite, whatever you want to call them. I'll call them by the Deke borrowed names. And a lot of folks thought it was wrong for Zoisite, who had been a man in every telling of Sailor Moon, except only in Deke and in the Germish take, had become a man. And a lot of folks seen how they fought. Well, a lot of folks were like, well, come on. Why couldn't the Spaniards of the mindset and the stand today and the understanding and the trust be where it is now, where it wasn't in the past? I do not know. All I know is that Deke felt that Deke was worried that if anyone saw Zoisite and Millikite, or being unstraight, they were frightened that someone might bitch and rant, and then either somehow get a hold of UPN or WB or USA or Cartoon or whatever, or YTV in the settled land, and say that they just watched a drawing show from Dawnland with two unstraight folks in it, and would make such a big thing out of it that either WB or UPN or USA or Cartoon in the 4-1 Reichs and YTV in the settled land to drop it. So that's why Zoisite had to become a woman, and all they really had to do was just shift to having Kirsten Bishop kick, who is no longer with us anymore. And she was brought in to speak for Zoisite. She'd be back in 3 other followings of Sailor Moon. And that was the only time in the first following that Deke had to deal with unstraight folks, or how they went by dealing with it. But it would not be the last. By the free diff following, Cloverway had gotten the rights to work with Sailor Moon. And that's when Sailor Uranus, myself, Sailor Skyworld, and Sailor Neptune, Sailor SeaWorld came in. And we were unstraight lovers. Well, we were already women, so they couldn't make us women. We were already women. So they had to shift the kinship around. And the shifting of the kinship made us near kin. And throughout the free diff following, came out that we grew up at around the same time, and that we happened to, be around each other growing up. We never said who our mother and father was. We never said anything beyond, yeah, we were near kin and we grew up around the same time and happened to be around each other a lot. And that was the answer for the bond. But a lot of folks called bullshit on that and said that they knew we were unstraight lovers. Now, Cloverway was going to be in the same bind that Deke would have been in. And you see, Cloverway, the only deal they had was a cartoon folk work deal. And if they lost that, well, they were dead in the water. So they didn't want anyone to somehow get a hold of Cartoon or drawing show and bitch until they said that was a no-go. Now, a lot of folks had a held belief, and by the time Viz got the rights to work with Sailor Moon years later, the mindset, the stand, the understanding, the learning, of what being unstraight was and how someone saw themselves as being unstraight, and a bunch of all, the learning of unstraightness is or what it is or what it's not. So nowadays, it was not the same. Viz did not have to do anything except put it in English, because Viz was dealing with folks with a new mindset and a new stand that unstraightness was not a big deal, as some folks in the past made it out to be. A lot of folks seem to think that Deacon Cloverway should have just kept it the way it was. Well, unless they wanted to lose their UPN and WB and USA and cartoon deal and YTV deal at the time, So nowadays, Viz doesn't have to worry about what Deke and Cloverway had to worry about, or is it Pioneer, Pathseeker? Because they got the rights to the free films. Now, a lot of folks out there nowadays will say, "Oh, well, you're coming up for a forgiveness for it." I'm not giving a forgiveness for it, but I am telling you why I believe it was done at the time it was done, or why I believe that Deacon Cloverway did it. All right? I'm not saying it was right way to doing it, but it was the only way they knew how to do it. And I know there's going to be folks in the straight followership and the unstraight followership who are going to believe that Deke handled it the wrong way, Cloverway handled it the wrong way, and that none of that would have happened, that they would have not lost their WB, UPN, or USA or cartoon deal in the 4-1 Reichs. They would not lose their YTV deal in the Settled. Well, there's no way to know what these folks would have done. Nowadays, it's not a big deal. Nowadays, having someone unstraight in a film, show, or play, or a drawing show, or a drawing film for children, it's not a big deal anymore. And most of the time, a lot of folks tend to be scathed if you don't have any of that in there these days. Now, that doesn't mean to say that the mindset and stand of some of the folks have gone away. There are still some folks out there who still think it's wrong, who still think it's sinful and unlawful. It's not. Not that I know of. At the end of the day, I don't know if Sailor Moon was the first show to ever have unstraight folks in it. I don't know if it was the first drawing show to have unstraight, selves in it or not. That is hard to say. There have been sundry drawing shows and drawing films from Dawnland and other lands, so it'd be hard to know which one was the first. Now, nowadays, it's not the stand, the mindset is not the same as it once was. So, yeah. Get off of me. There's some fly keeps on flying on my arm. So, at the end of the day, Viz, all they have to worry about is putting everything into English. They don't have to worry about dealing with anything else. Now, at the end of the day, yes, we are unstraight lovers and every other take of Sailor Moon. And the drawing shows, the drawing films, the funny books out there, which that's what the English word is for all books that have drawings in it, even if they're funny or not. Even if they're funny or not. And even in the plays, as well as the song plays out there. But in the in the Deke world, in the Cloverway world, Zoisite and Malachite were a man and a woman. Myself and Sailor Neptune, Sailor SeaWorld were near kin. And by the forefollowing, Fisheye, a lot of folks say Fisheye was a man who liked to clothes himself in women's clothing. But after watching the Cloverway one and the Viz one many times, I come up with the belief that it was a woman. But even if that was true, Fish's eye or fish eye got shifted into a man the same way Zoe's sight got shifted into a man by having a woman do the speaking for him or her. Well, anyway, that's all the time I got here. Sarah Uranus, Sailor Skyrild, Amara. See you later.